And schools are preparing to head back for 2021, some on Wednesday, some on Friday. But to enter with a new curriculum could be the way of the future, because the Healing Foundation is really urging all schools to teach the stolen generation story and Australia's full history. To speak on this morning from the Healing Foundation, we're joined by CEO. Good morning to you, Fiona Petersen.
Morning, Fiona.
Good morning.
Now, your organisation is wanting students to have a better understanding of the full history of Australia.
Yeah, that's right. We've developed some really impactful lesson plans under Stolen Generation Schools Resource Kit. And we've got so much traction from it, 13,000 downloads since we launched it in 2019. And yeah, as teachers prepare for the coming year, we just want to let people know, you know, how impactful it's been, and to try it if they haven't yet. We believe we've taken all the fear out of it. You hear direct from Stolen Generation survivors about their stories, and for us it's not just about the history, it's about how history impacts now, which is often not taught.
Because we're having the conversation, but I was only saying to Wayne earlier, Fiona, that it took me getting to university to learn about a lot of the history. I mean, there was so much I missed that I could have really done with early on. And the way you've structured this with all the tools, you can go through every individual, year one up to high school, and each year you can at least be opening up more and more to the classroom, and the students can have more information about it with every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we found it was always going to be important to do just that. Teaching is most effective when students are moved, when you tap into their authority to take on new information and process it. So, what we're doing here is working with, the future workforces of people who interact with survivors and can really make a difference to their healing journeys if they have the information and they understand what's happening. As humans, we can all be affected by trauma, but importantly, we've seen in our foundation that you can also heal from it in the right environment.
Well, the results of the Stolen Generation, of course, have reverberated through generations, haven't they?
They absolutely have, and we've got all the evidence now to support this. Trauma happens in cycles, and that fight, flight or freeze, that happens to any human, that limits opportunities, and possibilities seem like they're not there, as if they would be if we weren't suffering from trauma. So the more positive interactions our survivors have with anyone and everyone they come into contact with, the more likely they are to heal.
And the thing is, learning more about the Indigenous culture, I just feel like the European settlers, and we came in and we did it all the white way. And, I mean, sometimes you just don't realise the burden that's had on the Aboriginal and Indigenous culture. And to actually learn that in such a great way, I think it really sends a really deep message.
Absolutely. We're the oldest living and thriving Aboriginal culture, across the globe. And there's a reason for that. And so, when we've learnt these things, the scientists have caught up since, the bushfires and things like that. We've survived on this wide brown land for a long, long time, and there are reasons why. And we know, our peoples have always been keen to share that, and so there's so much to gain for all Australians by leaning in a little and finding out more about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and our plight today. There's been a lot of pain and suffering, but what we like to talk about now is intergenerational healing, because there is a lot of strength and resilience to celebrate for our peoples, and it's a great source of pride and strength that what our elders and survivors have gone through they're still, able to contribute to something like the resource kit and be so generous with their stories and teaching.
That's wonderful, because we love learning, and that helps with any division and more harmony, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, education is the key, I think, yep.
That's right. And I think it comes down to how much do you really want to learn? How much do you really want to know? And if our future workforces are going to be making good decisions and solving problems with all the information at hand, then the more they can learn, the better at these ages.
I love some of the lesson plans focused not only on the stories, but music, poetry, dance, art and writing. So that's beautiful in itself too.
Oh, it really is. And the feedback we're getting from schools is amazing. Things that are just we could never have known, would have such an impact. There are some really beautiful stories.